Okay, we're on to example 4. Again, I recognize I have tables, and if I look in the problem, I have an equation. Okay, and it says which table shows this relationship. So, looking for a match here. Home, new document, save changes, no. Add the graph. Here's my equation, 78.5x minus 392.5. Enter. Then menu, trace, graph trace. Now see, this time if you go to the table starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, so this is where the menu trace, graph trace is going to save you time, because you can just type 50 in here. My input's 50, and look and see what my output is. Now, sometimes this is going to be a scientific notation. My calculator is already programmed to take away that scientific notation, but if you do see that scientific notation, so here's my input and my output. There's only one that matches. 50 doesn't match here. Oh, that one doesn't have 50, so I have to be careful with that one. That's still a possibility, and this one doesn't have 50 either. Okay, then if you do see scientific notation, you're going to go menu, settings. And right here where it says float, for example, if it's on float 3, it'll give you that scientific notation like I'm talking about. So if you go menu, settings, and change the float out as far as it goes, maybe to 12, okay, it's not going to show you that scientific notation. It'll take that off for you. All right, so again, menu, trace, graph trace. We need to type in 85 next. See if that works. 6,280, that matches. Then 120, enter. 9,027.5, that's correct. And then 200, 15,307. So there's my match. Okay, here's one for you to try on your own. Again, you're going to have to look at the screen. I can't type these tables into the question. All right, so here is your equation. So going to calculator, home, new document, save changes, no. Add a graph. Now, when you type this in, you might have got an error. Well, if you're at school, you might have got an error. If you were at home using Desmos, you wouldn't have got an error. But if you type this in the calculator just like you see it, it's going to tell you error. And it's that problem before where there's a variable right in front of the parenthesis. So to fix that, you just have to put a parenthesis around that X that's touching the parenthesis, right? And then you hit enter and it'll graph it just fine. Then menu, trace, graph trace. So 2, input 2, output 1. So that works. 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. They all have a 2 and 1. Okay, next is 4. Enter. 4 and 6 match. This one doesn't have 4. This one has 4 and 6. All right, next is 9. Enter. 9 outputs 36. 9 does not output 28. So this one's out. Okay, next, 5. 5 outputs 10. None of the others have 5. 8. 8 outputs 28. 8 outputs 28. That's checks. And 12 outputs 66. So all 4 of those match. That's the correct answer. So over here, one of these doesn't match. So let's try 13. Oops, that is not 13. 13 is 78. 7 is 21. And that says 22. So that's why that one's out. And if I type 10 and 45, and that one says 44. So this one's out. So G is definitely the correct answer. So notice they have some correct answers. But if there's just one that's wrong, then it makes the whole thing wrong.